everyone, it's Haley.
And it's Pauline.
This is the Sweet podcast where we talk about anything and everything Sweet Magnolias. And today is the Tyannie episode, so I'm going to pass it to Pauline.
Yeah. If there is one thing we love to talk about is Tyannie. And so we thought it was like obvious we were going to do an episode about them because they basically stole the spotlight from Cal and Maddie, who were supposed to be like the main couple. And actually, Tiny and Annie just arrived and just being like, okay, no, it's for us.
I was going to say, like, you could tell this show originally on pen and paper was meant for the moms and the grandmas, which is fine. But then they throw in a little teenage love, and that's the part that literally takes over the entire show. I mean, I'm not surprised with their chemistry and just how it was written in season 1, but like, it's just funny. Like, it was supposed to be Maddie and Cal. It's like, no.
Nope. Yeah.
So yeah, if any of you guys know us online, it's not shy that we are big fans of Tyannie. So like Pauline mentioned, we want to just create an episode where we talk about literally everything that went down between Tyannie, how we feel about it, and then kind of like a high level wish list for what we want in season 3. I know we talked a little bit about it last episode, but I figured let's just run through the Tyannie parts. But basically, this episode is all about Tyannie. So if you are a shipper of them like us, I think you'll enjoy this. So we're going to start season 1. Kicks off with, I think it's like the first scene we see with them where it's Kyle, Ty, and Annie on the couch. Annie's already glancing at Ty, so we know she has feelings for him.
Even before, like the first scene we see, like they're walking together to go to school, and then when Ty leaves, like you saw her looking at him from afar. So at this point, we already know she has a little thing for him.
I was going to say, they're not shy about it.
No.
They are very clear that she likes him. It's very obvious to the audience, I guess I should say. And then we start to get jealous glances from Annie to Ty, because it's very clear Cece likes Ty, or in a sense. I think she always liked the idea of him, not really him, but clearly there's something she wanted to date him or go on a date with him. And Annie noticed, and you just see glances of like at the restaurant, she's glancing over in the cafeteria. And so it just solidifies that, we're not crazy. Annie clearly likes Ty and is very protective of him. So, yeah.
And then we can talk about probably the most huge thing that happened between them in the first season. Obviously, Annie gets drunk, and like Ty is very protective of her. He takes her home, and then she's like, she's somehow telling him she loves him, and then she kisses him and just go like completely drunk and go to sleep.
That's why it's so funny. She drops this bombshell on him, and then it's like, bye, I'm gonna go to bed now. You can leave. Thank you. And Ty's like, what just happened to me?
What the hell did that just happen?
And this is also the introduction to Jackson and how much of a really awful person he is, because we've mentioned this probably too much, but Pauline and I have a big issue with Jackson in season 1, or just Jackson in general, and how he basically tried to take advantage of Annie when she was intoxicated. But like Pauline said, thank goodness that Ty was there to stop that real quick. But it's just creepy. And so it's kind of bringing in Jackson into the middle as like the meddler between Annie and Ty. Like he loves to make their life live like a living hell, basically. So yeah, Annie kisses Ty, and then Ty's like freaking out. Like you can see his face being like, oh shit, what
the hell just happened?
Like, I know we're not in season 2 yet, but we find out in season 2 that Ty did have feelings at some point in his life for Annie. So this isn't just like a yikes, how do I tell her like, oh thank you? It's clearly like a oh my God, this is bringing up feelings I haven't thought about in a long time. What do I do?
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
think so that's why I go back and watch season 1 again, because now knowing that Ty clearly did like Annie, it makes
Yeah.
it way more interesting. But yeah, so the kiss happened and yeah,
Yeah.
it goes
And
down.
then goes down with the voicemail. Still drunk,
Oh,
Annie sending that voicemail to him.
it's so bad. It's so bad. That's why you need to just lock that phone away when you're drunk. Like nothing
Yeah.
ever good comes out of drunk calling,
Yeah.
texting. But she hints that like, hey, this kiss was not a mistake. I wanted to kiss you. I do like you. And Ty's like, okay, this is another layer that I kind of
Yeah.
have to deal with. And he's freaking out. And then Annie, when she wakes up, she realizes what she's done and she's like, oh
Oh, shit.
shit. Like he knows now.
What did I do?
Like, what the hell did I just do? And it just doesn't get better from there for her. It
No,
just gets worse.
it gets worse. Um, because because all of this, Ty freak out, and when like
Mhm.
he's trying to avoid her at church, and he's just like, "I'm sorry."
Oh, and she like straight up says it didn't mean anything. Like this is the start of Annie just flat out lying, saying,
Yeah,
"My kid, it wasn't anything. You know that, right? Like I was
yeah,
just
yeah.
drunk." And then I'm just thinking of Ty. He's probably like, "My brain hurts. What is happening right now?"
Mhm. I think she got scared because of his reaction at church, and
Mhm.
then the voicemail just get leaked by Jackson. And
Ugh.
so just to protect herself, she was like, no, like just I was drunk. It didn't mean anything, but
Mhm.
you know that's not true. But
Yeah.
I think it was for her way to protect herself from
Mhm.
being hurt, because that hurt.
Well, yeah, and it's not like it's just a boy she has a crush on. This is someone
Mhm.
that, like, no matter what
She's
happens,
friendly
he's
with.
going to be in her life. So she can't
Mhm.
just willy nilly say, "Hey, I like you a lot," and she can't afford for him to reject her. Is basically what I'm trying to say.
Mhm.
One thing I didn't write down, but I think it happens the same episode as the church stuff. Uh, and, oh, sorry, Maddie. I was like, names, they're hard.
Mhm.
Maddie and Ty have this conversation where, like, they're not talking about Annie, but you can tell that Ty is thinking
Yeah.
of Annie when Maddie was like, "You can't help who you
Mhm.
like, who you have feelings for," and Ty's like, "Yeah, I get
Yeah.
that."
Yeah, there's a moment that we didn't write down, but when Dana Sue has this health scare, and like
Mm.
Kai is like, yeah, how is Dana Sue? And Maddie's like, yo, yeah, she's fine, and Annie's too. We're like, yeah, I didn't ask, but thank you.
And I know we'll talk about this more when we talk in season 3, but I guess more season 4, because let's be real, if Tyannie something's going to happen, it's not going to happen until the end of the season. But I would love a moment where, like, say Ty and Annie keep their thing a secret for a little bit, and
Yeah.
when the moms are like spying and trying to figure out, I just picture them being like, we're not stupid. Like, we know you guys have liked each other since you were like 5 years old. So I would just love something where the moms are like, you're not slick.
Yeah,
Like, we know
that,
what you're
that would
doing.
that would have been so cute.
All
And then what
right.
happened? Of course,
Oh,
Annie is rightfully pissed by the whole thing with the voicemail and
yeah,
the
because,
huge fight. There's
yeah.
a
And I was
huge
going to
fight.
say, I don't think we mentioned that Jackson is the one that leaks the voicemail to the entire school, while Ty and Gabe, which
Hmm.
I get what Ty was doing. He was trying to talk to his best friend because he's clearly conflicted. Like, he's like, what do I do right now? But Ty, you don't play a very emotional and a personal voicemail out loud in a public school. What's wrong with you? Don't do that. His intentions were good, but again, he's a
Yeah,
boy, so you have to give him some slack, I guess. But of
yeah,
course, Jackson overhears, takes the phone while they're bickering, sends it to, I think, like the baseball team, but of course it
yep.
continues to leak out, and Ty's
Poor
freaking
Annie.
out. And Annie, of course, finds out through Simon because Simon's a good friend. And like you said, the fight happens, which in my opinion is the best scene in season 1, hands down.
A lot of people were telling me that I thought they were going to kiss at the end of that fight.
I mean, because the tension was insane. Like I can't blame them. I thought it too at first.
Like, this is why I think that if we have a very emotional scene between them in season 3, that it would be like an explosion of emotion.
I'm gonna be jumping out of my seat, freaking out. Like, it's just the chemistry they have. I think that's another reason why they're so popular. It's like their chemistry oozes through the screen, and you just can't help but root for them. But that scene in particular, you were just like get him, Annie, get him. But then you're kind of like, go Ty, go. Like, you're rooting for both of them because they both have valid points. And so it's just like, and then the fact that they both look like they're gonna cry. Obviously, Annie does, but like they're both on the verge of tears. Ty is basically saying, I didn't do this on purpose. I needed to talk to someone about it. I'm confused. And Annie's like reiterating, it didn't mean anything, and like basically kicks him out. And we see her break down. And I think it's because it's two things. One, she's in this heated argument. You're going to be emotional. Two, she just lied to the guy she clearly loves to protect him and like her heart. And that can't feel good either. So it's just, what a good scene. I love that scene.
This is one of my favorites too. Yep. And then Ty started to date Cece, basically to protect Annie from the aftermath of the kiss and the voicemail and everything, because he knows that if he doesn't do anything, they will continue to talk about her and the voicemail. So to like, I don't have the English words, sorry, but just to have the intention on him and Cece, he is doing this for her. And he doesn't date her for the right reason.
Exactly.
I don't know how to explain it, but
No, and I apologize for my very loud sigh. I hope that wasn't like hurting anyone's ears. It's just it's the tie of it, because I hate to use this excuse, but it's like he's a teenage boy. He's not thinking. But then in comes Gabe, who we love very, very much, and is basically like, this is not going to end well. I know your intentions, again, are good, but you clearly did not think this out in the long run, because now you're leading on another girl who you're going to hurt. But the thing is, like, I think you're hinting towards it. He didn't think about that. He just thought, how can I protect Annie? And it's another way we know he loves her. And we don't know in what capacity yet, but it's very clear that they have very strong feelings towards each other. And he's just trying to protect him. But it's not going to end well. Gabe was right. Like, what are you doing? But to be fair, Cece, you can tell she wanted the relationship for other reasons too, at least at first. So I can't really get mad. It's just kind of like you want to shake Ty a little. Like, what are you doing? Like, stop it. Like, your intentions were good, but no. But yeah, so of course that happens. And we know in the end it doesn't work out, but that's what he tries to do, to take the blame or the attention off of Annie's drama and move it on to something else.
I'm just reading the notes.
Oh yeah, and then basically I just laugh at, it's like, we find out that Annie still clearly has feelings for Ty, and all of this was an act when she's walking by like on a path with Kyle, and she sees Cece ask Ty to the prom, and there's still that. So that's kind of like the reiteration to the audience that she was just deflecting and protecting her heart with those notes of, I don't feel anything. It was just a kiss. I was drunk. It didn't mean anything. But it's very clear she still likes him, and it was all just an act. But that scene, I brought that scene up because to me, that's where it solidified, like, she wasn't just saying that. Like, she's lying.
There is also when they are at Kyle's play and she just look at them holding hands. And she's like, and you see, like, oh, that's her. It hurt, actually. And that's like my heartbreak for her. She's like, she's just asking Katie to like exchange place. She's like, no,
No.
why?
Naive Katie. But, yeah, it's heartbreaking to watch that. But it's one of those things that I think actually catapulted Annie into what happens with her in season 2 with like, it's clear he doesn't have feelings for me. I need to force myself to move on, which we'll get into in a second. But I think you can tell they were kind of setting it up towards the end as far as how she was reacting again to Ty and Cece.
Yep.
And then, of course, one of the other better scenes is they're at the after party for prom and they're dancing and they're sharing very intense looks that it is kind of the first inkling after that fight that Ty might have feelings for her too, because it's not a one-sided glance and him just smiling politely. It's like they're looking each other down. Like there's clearly some unresolved feelings. Like the tension is insane in that scene.
Yeah. I don't have anything more to say, but because this is exactly what happened.
And then, of course, it leads to the cliffhanger, which is the car accident. And then that's basically Tyannie's story in a nutshell. It had the internet buzzing, which is crazy to think because things happened, but it wasn't like a huge part of the show. But it's what got it a lot of attention online. So they had people hooked from season 1 for those two for sure. And then we moved to season 2, which what a mess. What a mess.
What a mess. Yep. It opened up with the hospital scene where the tension is high. Annie, I don't know why she feels bad for Jackson. I rewatched that scene and this is completely like the scene doesn't make any sense because at the beginning she's like, yeah, it's Jackson who started everything. And then, or he's the one who's, no, she said, sorry, I've so many things in my head. But she's like, yeah, it's Jackson who's bring alcohol. And then she just like point him like as the one who started it all. And then 5 seconds later, she's looking at him, they're looking at each other, and then it happened.
Yeah. It's so weird. It's like, and I know we've said this a million times, you guys are probably sick of it, but Annie in season 1 is so different, even starting from that first scene in season 2. And the time difference between season 1 and 2, like and canon wise and the story wise, is like an hour. So it's wild.
34 minutes, like they said.
That's right. Minutes. That's right. So not even an hour. And
not even an hour.
It's just so weird because we were there. We saw Jackson torment Annie, even in the finale at the post prom. He was horrible and embarrassing her again. But then, to your point, she gives these puppy dog eyes to Jackson, and all of a sudden, just sees him sitting in a hospital waiting room, and is like, "Aw!" It's like, what? This is the one of the worst guys in the world. But okay, Annie, I guess you do you. And then Ty, rightfully so, is kind of like, "What the hell, Annie? Like." You know this guy. We've known him. He's an ass. Like, I don't know what you're trying to do. And then, of course, Ty and Jackson fight, which breaks Ty's arm. And Annie's just standing there kind of confused. But this is the start of Annie being mean to Ty for absolutely no reason. We still can't figure it out. We think it's maybe her deflecting her feelings again, but that's not fair to Ty if that's true, because I've watched that, when watching that season, I was so confused. It's like, he didn't do anything wrong. And I'm wondering if because in my mind, it's like, was she mad at Ty because he was fighting Jackson? Because usually you think it'd be the other way around, where she'd be pissed at Jackson for what he did to Ty. But no, it just doesn't make any, like, that first scene, it makes absolutely no sense.
Nope.
I think they were just trying to solidify the Ty or the Jackson and Annie thing right away, and it didn't work. It just didn't. It was very weird. So Ty breaks his arm, and then things are just really weird between them.
Yeah. And then I think it's probably like one of the most intense scenes of season 2 for Ty and Annie is the glance at the locker. Like, she's looking at him, he doesn't look at her. He's looking at her, she doesn't look at him. And then again, Jackson's come on and he's just,
of course,
and Ty just leave.
And I think I loved it because
Mhm.
it was
Me
Ty
too.
looking at her first. It was the first
Mhm.
time we start to see, which happens a lot through the season, but it's the first time we start to see Ty really notice Annie, because in season
Yep.
one, it's the opposite, where we didn't really see that from Ty's perspective.
Yeah.
But I think what they're really solidifying, which I think is actually kind of smart, is season one, we saw it really from Annie's point of view and how she was dealing
Mhm.
with her emotions. Season two, it's very clear we're seeing it from Ty's point of view, which is nice. And you're seeing
Yeah.
him like look at Annie after that scary accident. In my mind, he's thinking, like, oh shit, like I really need to talk to her. Things are weird.
Mhm.
Like, let's figure it out. Like, we had this moment at prom. Like, we really need to talk
Yeah.
about this. And then as he goes up to do said conversation, in walks Jackson. And then it just goes
Yeah.
downhill for
W
them.
What I loved in that scene is that the way it's filmed is like, even if there is a lot of people around, it looks like they are just the
Mhm.
the two of them. Just it's Annie and there is no one else. There is Ty and there is no one else. I love that. And just it breaks as soon as Jackson arrived. And this is this bubble, and I don't know, just that scene is just very intense, and that's why it's one of my favorite.
Mhm. It's like it's that intensity that we'll talk about, especially later, that they
Mhm.
share. That's why when we said, when they finally have like a love connection or confession or kiss and something or another fight in season three,
Mhm.
people are going to be freaking out because it's their chemistry is bonkers. And I'm not trying to say this because I'm biased, because I obviously don't ship Annie and Jackson, but they don't have that chemistry that Ty and Annie do.
Mhm.
They have cute scenes, but cute scenes don't make chemistry, I guess what I'm trying to say. So it's like, if
Yep.
they have that much connection and just looking at each other in a hallway, imagine what's going to happen when they finally get together. We're going
Wow.
to lose our minds. So yeah, that
Wow.
scene was great, and one of the very few
Mhm.
actual Ty and Annie scenes that we got in the entire season.
Yep. And then the one in the few scene that we had in season two between Ty and Annie, we have this awkward conversation at the Sullivans. He's like, I should have called you. She's like, I should have called you. And then she's just mean. Right after, she just decided to be the meanest to him.
It,
I
but I
don't
will say,
understand.
no, yeah, we've solidified, but we're both scratching our heads still, being like, what, why? It doesn't make any sense. But this is the first time I sensed where Annie does the
You're
like
right. Let's
crossed
talk about it.
off.
You're right.
Like I think she's mean because she's deflecting and she doesn't want him to really think that she likes him still. Like, she's trying to just push that behind her and move on. In her mind, that accident was like, I can't sit and just, wait for him, but I can't hint to him that I'm still feeling feelings for him. I
Hmm.
don't know. I think it's a lot. It's really complicated, but it's very clear Annie does this a lot, where in the season, she'll cross her
Yep.
arms or make herself really small
Yep.
anytime she's feeling those intense feelings for Ty. And this is kind of the first time we see that.
Hmm. Yep. Sorry, I'm just reading the notes.
Oh, same. There's a lot.
Yep.
Oh,
And then yeah, Jackson and Annie start to hang out together, which make Ty very jealous, and it bothered him a lot. And Cece doesn't hesitate to tell him like, "Oh, like no, stop! He didn't do anything to you." Like because Ty's like, "It's Jackson. Why is she with him? Why is she spending time with him?"
mm-hmm.
And like Cece's like, he doesn't do anything to you. Stop trying. And then
Which I
you
don't
know.
agree with that. I love Cece, but I don't agree
Yep.
with that sentiment, because I think he had a right to be mad, even if he wasn't jealous, because we
Hmm.
saw Jackson in season one. He was an awful, awful human being. He still
Yep.
kind of is. Like, in Ty's point of view, he hasn't seen
Hmm.
any change. So I get what Cece's saying, that he's talking about it a little bit too much, but we saw in season one that Ty clearly is protective and loves Annie. So I'm not surprised that he's being pretty vocal, saying
Yep.
this is weird. Like, this is
Yep.
like,
That's odd.
I like, I want to protect her. I don't want her to get her feelings hurt, and it's Jackson, so she's going to get her feelings hurt. And so
Yep.
I get that perspective, but we'll talk about it in a second. He doesn't stop talking about it. And that's where it hints that like, okay, it's more to Cece. She's like, dude, like this is clearly not just about Jackson. Like there's more to this, but we'll get to that. I guess that's the next note, I guess. Never mind.
Yep.
Because I was going to say Jackson and Annie start to hang around or hang out a lot at the church summer camp thing. And Ty's obviously there too. And Cece's there too. And so they're both witnessing it. And Ty just constantly looking at them, constantly making remarks about it. And Cece is really starting to take notice. My note. The next one, I'm very okay, I don't know what happened, but basically then it's hinting that Annie is starting to see Jackson romantically. But I think it goes back to what she said in season 1, where she's like, I just want a guy to notice me. I just want to be seen that way. Like no one sees me that way, because if not, like that's gotta be the only thing, because it's Jackson. Like, Annie girl, we understand you're desperate for a relationship at this point, or just to move on from Ty, I guess I should say. But Jackson, that's who you choose? Like, come on. Ugh.
That's so sad that she just like took the only, like, she had one guy who had a little bit like of an interest in her. It's just like, okay, it's the one. I'm going to date him.
And then she's like, he's misunderstood. You don't understand. It's like, oh my God, girl. No,
please don't. You deserve more. You please.
And then you're gonna have those anti-Tyannie shippers that are like, well, you want her to be a Ty, you want her, and you say you want her to be with a better person. I'm like, yeah, Ty is a better person. I said, you have to give them some slack. He's a teenage boy, but all of his actions have shown everything he's done is for Annie. Can you say the same for Jackson? Hell no. So it's like, it's an argument that I know is going to come up when we talk about it, but no, sorry. No. Let's see.
Sorry, there is noise behind me.
Oh no, you're good. And then we finally have that moment where Ty and Cece are sitting at a table again, watching Jackson and Annie clearly flirt at another table, and Ty is not okay with it. And Cece this is where she finally breaks down. She's like, why do you care? He's not doing anything to you. He's not bothering you. I don't understand why you keep like looking at them. Why do you care? And she's hinting that, like, she didn't say it directly yet, but she's saying like, dude, like I'm not blind. Like, it's very clear why you do. And Ty is just deflecting. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And this is where they get into a pretty big, like Ty and Cece get into a big fight. And yeah. Yikes.
They finally break up.
Which, who knew that was going to be one of my favorite scenes of season 2? Cece is just so like unapologetic and so badass in this, where she's like, I've been watching and listening to you. It's very clear this is not working because you still have feelings for your kindergarten crush. So this is where we get confirmation that Ty did like Annie for at least back in his past. And Ty, of course, is still in denial. Be like, no, it's not it. It's just, whatever. And Cece's just like, dude, I'm not going to sit here while you try to figure this out. Like, it's obvious.
Really. So, and then they just go, like, Cece just go ahead and goes him. Is like, okay, no.
Yep. And then she, of course, she just becomes like a girl boss and does her own thing. So I think that was her just letting him go I think she does care for Ty. And I think she realizes like, he just doesn't understand his feelings yet. And she can't just keep him when he's dealing with that. We know he's not doing this intentionally. He just doesn't understand his feelings yet. And I think Cece sees that, and seeing her be the bigger person is another reason I love Cece.
Who knew that we would say this? Actually, not me.
I know.
Not me.
No, I was gonna say me neither. And this one, who knew we would say this next line where it says, I guess this is my words, so I won't put it in Pauline's mouth, but I think we both share the same sentiment. Annie starts to become really rude, selfish, and cruel to her friends and family, when it comes to like, I guess it just in general, she just becomes really
Yep.
mean, especially when anything comes up with Jackson. And she's doing this all to maintain this quote unquote relationship. It's like she's becoming an entirely different person that obviously not a lot of people are liking right now. And all for the sake of being in a relationship with, of all people, Jackson. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't understand. Like that was the turning point, like around mid-season where I just gave up, where I was like, Annie,
Yeah.
I don't know who you are. I don't like this.
Yeah.
It's not good.
That's sad to say that and to say this, but we talk about it in the last episode. But I
Mhm.
hope season 3 will give her that redemption arc she deserved now. Like, I never thought I would say that, but now she
Same.
deserves one. She do deserve one.
Like
So,
I
writers,
hope.
if you're listening to us, please, like, she deserves way better treatment from you.
Mhm.
Seriously.
And it's something too, like maybe this was their plan, and maybe it was that Annie is going to realize how horrible she's been, and that's fine. I just want to make sure this isn't just, you know, dusted under the rug or brushed under the rug, where next season it's like she's all of a sudden back to normal again. Like I want it, but I guess what I'm saying is I just want her attitude to be addressed next season, and for her to acknowledge how horrible she's been to her mother, to Ty, to all these people. Like I
Mhm.
think it's important for her to come to terms with it, but I have a feeling it's going to be like a Jackson and the drunk situation. It's never going to be addressed. But I think it would be really nice for her to realize, like, and a part of, I guess we'll talk about this in our season 3 list, but
Mhm.
I think it would be great for it to be a part of why her and Jackson don't work, because she realizes I'm becoming a person that's not myself. Like, I don't recognize myself in this relationship. Like, I'm pushing the people I love away. Like, this can't be healthy. I think that would be a great way to initiate her redemption arc, but also end the clearly toxic relationship between them. So I don't know. All in all, I just hope they address how she's her attitude. It's been awful in season 2.
Yeah. I think we can go with the Ty and Ellen scene because we've
Love
talked
it.
about, yeah, yeah. I think I'm going to say this a lot, but this is actually my favorite scene of the season.
I agree. I
Actually,
100% agree. Yep.
because I think this actually is super cute because at both time with like in the same time Ellen is talking about herself, and at the same
Mhm.
time this is a parallel between her relationship in Tyannie and the Tyannie's relationship, and
Yep.
just timing like, can you go back to the first? And it's like, yeah, I guess you can. It's like,
Oh, and I
and
just,
I was
it's
like, oh
so
god.
good. And it's like it hints, I guess this happens. I have the order out, or I have this out of order because I think the coffee scene happens before this, but we'll get to that in a second. But when Jack or Ty mentions, like, I forget in what context, but he brings up, it's the like Helen's talking about the things you love about a person and like
Yep.
how you know them, and Ty's basically like, yeah, like their coffee orders. And my heart literally was like, oh my God. It's the
Bro.
perfect scene because us. Ty and Helen are our two favorite characters
Yep.
on the show of all time. Annie and Maddie are close, like third and fourth, but
Yeah.
Ty and Helen were the absolute standouts in season 2. And the fact
Yeah.
that they got together and are talking in tandem about their relationships, but the fact of how Helen is explaining what's kind of going on in her mind with the whole
Mhm.
Eric and, thinking about Ryan and all that stuff. Ty is kind of like, this means things to me. And it all kickstarted because they just were talking about Cece. And I love
Mhm.
when I forget, I think you were mentioning it, but they're saying, your like first love is the worst. Like it really sucks. And Ty is like, well, I don't think I loved Cece, or like hinting like, I don't think it was love. And it's just, and then it leads into like all that. And it's just, I remember just freaking out watching that scene, being like, oh my God. And the fact that it's canon, I don't care what people say. I think it's canon that Helen is shipping Ty and Annie. I know that Heather, the actress who plays Helen, is, so that just adds to it. But just I'll get off my soapbox again, but this is just a 10 out of 10 scene. I rewatched this scene so many times. Like, I love it so
really,
much.
Really my favorite scene of them all. And Carson and Heather, I want them more in season 3. Have seen to, because
oh yeah, we didn't mention that together, last.
They do magic. I'm not gonna lie, they do magic, and I want them together on the scene, singing together. Like,
imagine.
That would be so cute.
Like,
I didn't put it in the episode, but I put that there in the universe. Please, a song with Ellen and Ty. That would be so cute.
I was gonna say, yeah, we didn't talk about that pairing last episode, but I loved it, and I want to see Helen kind of be there for Ty to deal with these intense feelings that he is feeling. It was just so fun to watch them. So yeah, music, let them connect musically, or if you can't do that, just give us scenes between the two of them. It was a pairing that worked so well together, and we just want to see it. Oh, it was so good. And then we go into the coffee scene, which I think I mentioned, I think happens before. I forget the order, but the coffee scene is so interesting.
I think it's after.
Is it?
I believe it's after. We're not gonna lie, we didn't really rewatch a lot of season 2 a lot. Sorry. So if we are wrong in the order, sorry.
Sorry about that. But this is the scene where Ty's just minding his own business, reading in the coffee shop, and watches Jackson, and he's placing the coffee order, and then Ty hears the Annie's coffee order and is like, I know that, and is kind of teasing Jackson about it. And it's just like so the cute. Fact that he knows her coffee order, it's so amazing.
Yeah, this is the cutest. He's the cutest. I am such like if Taylor Thompson had one fan, I'll be the one, because I actually seriously, that scene is so cute.
It's so good. And then they sit awkwardly and they start talking, and Jackson makes a comment like, I've realized, or I'm trying to be a better person. I've kind of figured that out while hanging with Annie. And Ty's like, yeah, I know she has that effect on people, like clearly asserting that, like, hey, I know her, like, I know. And they kind of make amends, which is kind of good, because I just don't want to see Jackson making Ty's life living hell next season. But then it kind of leads, obviously the coffee order gets ready, so Jackson leaves to go pick it up, and it's the look on Ty's face when Jackson leaves is so good. Like, I have to give props to Carson, because that is not easy to do, to emote so much emotion with a single look. But it's like the sadness he has on his face because he realized he lost Annie, or he lost that chance to be with her because he just, didn't act on it. But then you see a slight glimmer of hope. And to me, I see that as like, but I've acknowledged my feelings, and that's a step in the right direction. I was like, the fact that I could catch that just from a look on his face, it was so good. That is another one of the best scenes that I rewatch.
Yeah.
So good. And then we have the porch scene, which is so one of the two scenes that we really have that it's Tyannie and Annie this season, which is so sad.
Where she's not mean at him, and she's just smiling. Normal. And that scene, like the way he's looking at her, like biting his lip. Like,
and for those who don't know which one we're talking about, it's the one where Annie comes to drop off some stuff at the Townsends. Ty is on the porch playing and singing, and she's just like, oh my God. And then, they make a cute banter, and he is aggressively flirting with her. It is not subtle. And I think she's starting to realize it, and she does that thing again where she like crosses off. She's like, oh shit. Like I'm feeling things. And they have these like Ty is not subtle at all, that he is like, I see you. Like, I'm here. Like he's like flirting so much with his eyes. I guess what I'm trying to say. She leaves, then we see this like longing look on Ty's face again, but it just solidifies we're not crazy. Ty really does still love Annie. And
Yeah.
I swear, writers, please bring it to fruition next season. We can't take this any longer. Please, please,
Yeah.
please. But it was just, like you said, it was weird because it was like the mean Annie was all of a sudden gone, which was never addressed as to why. But I'm glad mean Annie, at least mean to Ty Annie. She's still got a lot of stuff she needs to work on, but she's not being cold to him, which is good.
Yeah.
So and then I just put a note. Season ends with, I thought I'd bring this up because it's really weird. It's that scene between Annie and Jackson where they're feeling the pressure from their parents of disapproval of the relationship, more very Vaughn. And Jackson's kind of like, we need to like, we're going to be together. It doesn't matter what people think, but it's not like a cute romantic thing being like, it's you and me, babe. Like, we got this. It's kind of like, you and me are gonna be together. And it felt so controlling and weird. And I think I don't want to rewatch it, but I kind of want to because I want to see Annie's face because I don't think it was like a, oh, that's cute. It was kind of like a, okay, like what? I don't know.
I don't
It was just
remember her reaction.
yeah, it was just, it was hinting that something is going on with Jackson. And I guess that's a good segue into season 3, kind of like what we want to happen high level. Cause I know we went into details yesterday, but I put Jackson and Annie breaking up early in season 3. But I said, because he has a clear issue of like, with Ty and Annie and how they interact with each other. I think that's going to be a big part of why they break up. But I think it's like, it was hinted at the coffee scene or the coffee shop scene where Ty was like, oh, that's Annie's like coffee order. And Jackson's like, how do you know that? And I have a feeling Jackson is going to have a big problem with how Ty and Annie interact with each other.
Yeah, me too. But I think the writers, if they like continue what they started in season 2, they are clearly hinting Ty and Annie being together in season 3.
Fingers crossed.
Finger crossed. Yeah. So yeah, they actually like they are setting up everything for them to be together in season 3. I just like you said, I just hope they will not like continue the relationship between Jackson and Annie, sorry, will not last the whole season because I don't want to see like this for another season. I've sit through the whole season 2 of them being
entire season.
An entire season. And I think as a Tyannie shipper, and they did it really well with Cici and Ty, like we deserve to see them like slowly falling apart. I'm sorry, Jackson and Annie, but
sorry. But to be fair, like you got an entire season of very romantic and cute scenes and a build up, but we know this is not a relationship that's going to last. Like it's not going to because, well, Ty and Annie are canon first. Second, like you said, it's very clear that they're hinting towards it. I just hope, to your point, it's not we're going to keep hinting towards it in season 3 and not do anything. And then fingers crossed for a season 4, because, which I guess we'll get into in a second, is it's a valid concern that we have. Like if you don't give the Tyannie shippers something like a love confession or a kiss or something, it's going to be bad. Like people are going to stop watching. I've already heard people say that online. Like it's not just a Pauline and I sentiment, which I'm sure we'll keep watching. We're not like that, but it's a very, I mean, I understand it at the same time. Like it's frustrating when you have to wait this long, and especially because of Jackson, where we have to sit and watch this really toxic human be in a relationship with a character we love so dearly. And we had to sit and do that for an entire season. Please just don't make it 2 seasons where we have to keep watching Jackson and Annie. Like I'm just, like I said this last episode, I'm just tired. I don't want to, it made season 2 far less enjoyable than I thought it was going to be. Like I still liked it, but it didn't give me the buzz that season 1 did. I guess what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
But I'm
No, you're
telling
right.
you,
You're right.
if you guys get them together, this show will explode. And I don't think, I hope the writers, if you're listening to this, we're not just saying that. We are two people who are shippers through and through. We have made fan edits before. We know that if something major happens between these two, that's all the internet, like the Twitter space, the Tumblr space, that's all it's going to be for weeks, months after the show airs. I'm telling you, I promise you.
This is actually what's going to happen. So yeah, we're going to go farther with the edits after, but so I was saying that we will go farther with the edits.
Yeah, sorry.
After.
I got in my rants, but let's go back to season 3 once. My bad.
I do the same. So
I'm very emotional and heated when it comes to this. Sorry. Let's go back to season 3.
Of course, the more scene between Tyannie, because we've been really like season 2. We had, I think, 5 scenes of them together. 5 or less.
1, 2, 3,
like
4. That sounds 5. I think you're right. I think it's only 5 scenes. That's so sad. It's not even not 5 scenes of them just Ty and Annie. 5 scenes where they're actually together in a space. That could be with other people.
And moving at the same time.
So that's really sad. So more of them, please.
Scene, please.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so after we said Ty channeling is filling for Annie into his music, we talked about it in the last episode, but this is one of our dream scene. We want to see Ty singing a song where he's expressing his feelings for Annie, while Jackson is there, Annie is there, and then Ty look at each other, the whole thing, and Jackson is like, what?
and you hinted at it, like the same feeling that we got from the hallway scene where Ty and Annie are looking at each other. They don't notice anybody else in the room. It's just them two. And Jackson's off to the side being like, what the hell, guys? Like, I'm right here.
Like, please, like, look at me.
Like, can you imagine? Like, I'm telling you, that would have people like dying. Like I can't even imagine. Basically, we think it would be really interesting to see. We know Ty has a little bit of a difficulty expressing how he feels with words. So I think that's a great way to do it, is like for Gabe to say, hey dude, if you need to work through your feelings and like what you're going through, use music. And I could see that being like so good. So good,
please.
Yep.
It's a dream scene. Seriously, a dream scene.
Yep. And then we say Annie finally admitting to herself that she likes Ty. Like we know she does. I just want to see her have that moment where she's like, oh shit, like I do still really like him. I think I mentioned this last episode where one of my dream scenes is either, you know, Annie comforting Ty or Ty comforting Annie. I think more so the latter, when Annie finds out about her dad cheating and Ty being there and having like this really intense moment, maybe an almost kiss, I don't really know, and her leaving being like, oh my god, I still have feelings for him. I think that's a great way to have them have an intense moment, and that's how she realizes that those feelings are not gone, like they're just buried very, very deep down. So I think that would be a really great way for her, but I want to see her acknowledge that, like, oh yeah, I still have feelings for Ty.
There is, like, I saw it in other TV show, like someone who's there is a scene on Suits. Sorry if I'm spoiling anyone, but
it's been out for a while. You're fine.
But there is a scene before Donna and Harvey get together. Like something happened. Donna is with another man at this moment, and so a friend of her came to her office and he says, "You did that because you love him." She's like, "No, I don't love him." It's like, "No, I'm not talking about the man you are with. I'm talking," and then you just leave. I want to scene like this. And then she's like,
Imagine.
"Oh."
That's what I'm saying, is like they're both oblivious because they're thinking of the other person and they're trying to protect their hearts. They're trying to protect the other person. I want to see those guards come down and have a moment of something like that where they both have that moment. Like, I think Ty had his moment already. So he's already had that. But I think Annie needs to rehab that moment where she's like, I really like, this isn't just a crush I had on him. Like, I love him and I need to figure it out. If we don't, and my last note in all caps is a Ty and Annie confession and kiss. If this doesn't happen, I swear I'm already, do you see how heated I am? This is what if this does not happen, we riot at dawn. Do you hear me? We are going to go to the Netflix headquarters and like picket.
Just want to say I'm French and riot is in my blood. Okay. Like, we got heads.
So we mean business people. We're not just, no, I'm just kidding. But
no, I'm not going to get some head.
We're joking.
I'm joking.
But you can feel our intensity because it's been, season 2 was torture. To sit through that, like with Jackson and Annie, is knowing who Jackson is and having as a Tiny Annie shipper, that sucks. Like, that's not easy to do. If we make it this entire season and we still have to sit through them together again, and there's no actual confession or kiss, it's not going to be worth it. And I hate to say that, but we're going to feel defeated, because that's how I felt in season 2 when I finished. And this could be an unpopular opinion. When I finished season 2, at first, I was really upset, because all I was thinking about was, I waited 3 years and I got 5 scenes. But then obviously when I had time, I got to think like, okay, it makes sense, but that's not a good feeling to leave your viewers with. You want them to be excited. And if I'm like Pauline and I said, I think the episode before, we said that like both of us have not sat down and gone back to rewatching it. And which sucks, because I loved Maddie's stuff. I love Kyle's stuff. I loved Helen, even though it broke my heart, but it was good. So there was good things to go back to, but the bad taste in my mouth that was left because of the Jackson Annie thing takes away from, so basically what I'm saying is, don't let that happen again, please. We want to be excited, and having them get together will not ruin that. I'm telling you. Yeah. Them getting together will make your show explode. I'm going to watch it on repeat. And I kid you not, I will watch it on repeat. Trust me, it's worth it. Please get them together. Please.
At least like having a kiss, like at the end of the season, like the kiss, and you don't know what happened after, but if you got this, at least you will have people hooked for an upcoming season.
I was gonna say, so this is again another show, spoilers, but it's been out for a little while. Nancy Drew. So this is a show I avoided for a while because I was like, I don't know, I don't really need another show to watch. And I had some friends online be like, Haley, just do it. And then Nancy is someone in the show where she's hard to connect with at first. I was like, she's okay. But there's a guy named Ace that I loved immediately, where I'm like, this guy's great. Like, I love him. But I knew going into it, people really shipped Ace and Nancy. And I was like, really? Like, sure, they're a good looking couple, but I was like, I was really not liking Nancy. It's like, why are people so into this? But I pushed through and it got better. And then in season 3, she has like a full moment where she becomes a better person. You're like, oh, I get it. And then by the end of season 3, they have a moment where it's clearly like it built up to that moment. It's going to be more drama next season. But to me, it's a perfect example of what is happening with Tiny Annie, what I think is happening, where, you have the buildup, each person's working through their things. They finally have that moment. And then season 4, for Nancy Drew, I think is going to be them dealing with that moment. How does that affect them? Which to me is just as interesting as having the moment. So I think it's like, I guess what I'm trying to say is writers, people love it. Like people love them still having a moment and then the next season having to deal with that moment. That is not boring. It's just as interesting because we're getting more moments of them together. I know it's a long way to do it, but when I was watching Nancy Drew, it's exactly, I was like, oh my God, this is exactly what I wish would happen with Tyannie. So
yeah,
I know that was a weird comparison,
finger
but for
crossed.
those have watched the show, I think you'll get what I'm trying to say. And one last note, because it kind of goes in with what we're going to talk about next. I think Pauline and I have probably both done this where we've seen like a fan edit online and you're like, oh, they're really cute. Like, who is that? And then I've gone to a show to watch it because of an edit. And that's what really pushed me too with Nancy and Ace from Nancy Drew. And I was like, okay, I get it now. Like I've seen, like I got to just do this. And that's what happened with Annie or with Ty and Annie and with Sweet Magnolias, where I know when I made my edit early, like right when season 1 came out, all my comments were, what show is this? And then they all went back and watched it. And so my issue is if nothing happens in season 3, there's going to be less edits. No one's going to really want to go back and watch but I'm saying if there's a kiss in there or a love confession or some scene like that in an edit, that is enough to get someone to seriously sit down and watch 3 seasons. I kid you not. One scene would do it.
Truly. This is how I get into Arrow, actually. Like, I was watching, like, a Melicity fan edit, so like, I have to watch that show.
See,
and then you're like, oh, okay, let's do it. And this is exactly, like you said, what happened with Tyannie when season 1 came out. Like, people, because I think they didn't thought that a younger demographic would watch the show as they did. And so Ty and Annie became like the couple that was, you search for Sweet Magnolias on YouTube, most of the videos are yours, actually. And it's Ty and Annie.
But like, to be fair, like every video I posted, and it'd be people each time, they'd be like, oh my God, what show is this? Like, they're so cute.
Same for me.
And I'd even get people on Twitter that after they, saw my video, they're like, thank you so much. Like, this is a great, I was like, see, because, the season 1 trailer didn't really show a lot of the teen stuff. So no one would have known to check it out. It's the edits. It's like, the fan edits, the videos, all this stuff. And I guess that goes into what we're going to talk about is the power of Ty and Annie and what it does. And I think that's what I was hinting at is I'm kidding. I kid you not. A confession scene and one kiss would make so many people go and rewatch seasons 1 through 3. I'm telling you. But if that's why it was so hard for season 2 for me to make, I did not make nearly as many edits as I did as season 1 because I didn't have a lot to work with. And I don't want people to be like, oh, it's just Jackson and Annie. Like, I guess, because I had people say like on Twitter where they're like, oh, I heard, like, let me know what happens. Like, I'm not going to watch it until I hear what happens. And they said, oh, it's just Jackson and Annie. Like, I'm just going to skip through the stuff. And they didn't even really watch it. They just buzzed through like the main scenes. And so I guess what I'm saying is, I don't know why people try to avoid giving into ships. I think there's just always this fear of like the buildup is what makes it. And then when they finally get together, it ends that excitement. But as a shipper, I'm telling you that is not true. We want to see our favorite couple together just as much as we want to enjoy the buildup. And I think for season 3, I'm really worried that if Ty and Annie don't have something that solidifies, whether it's like an almost kiss, a love confession, some big moment, not just glances. I'm sorry, glances aren't going to do it. Like, you need a big development moment. I'm really worried about the future of the show as far as bringing, like you said, the younger demographic in.
Like I think I don't know if we talk about it in the podcast, but we've been talking about it a lot.
Mhm.
Cheryl, you don't have the time you think you have. So do this is not a threat or something. It's just Netflix can do anything they want. And if they
Yeah.
want to cancel the show, or if you don't like, if season 3 doesn't like raise the bar with
Mhm.
Tyannie, she knows like she's just running into the wall. I'm sorry, but she's
Yeah,
just
and we know the state of Netflix right now. There nothing is safe. Like nothing is
yep.
safe. And that like Pauline said, we're not like threatening, we're just saying like Netflix does not have the long span of
Mhm.
shows as you think. Like they've canceled very popular shows so early and people being like,
Yep.
"What?" But this is one of those shows where both seasons have immediately peaked to the top 10 and in a lot of countries to number 1 almost immediately, which is a
Yep.
really great sign. What Pauline was saying, and I agree, is if you keep pushing off, giving in a little bit into what the Tiny shippers have been waiting for, you're
Mm.
not going to see that. Like it's maybe it'll go to number 1 for like the first week and then no one's rewatching it. Like or not as much, I
Yep.
guess I should say, because the younger demographic is known to just rewatch things when they are
Yep.
obsessed with it. I am one of it. I do that.
Me
Sorry, I
too.
do. And
Me too.
we're just so passionate about this because we care, because we love these characters and we love what's been happening. We just all we're saying is don't assume you have a season 4 because
Hmm.
we don't know that. If you give a big development, even if it's towards the end of the season, for Ty and Annie, I
You
kid you
know.
not, people will watch it over and over and
Never.
over. And you have a way higher likelihood that you'll get a season 4. That's what we're
Oh
saying
yeah.
is like, just
Oh
don't
yeah.
bet. Please don't bet on already having a season 4 unless you know something we don't. Then that's
Yeah.
fine. But please give in. Like we're
Maybe.
dying here.
Maybe because, but I'm sure that as soon as they will kiss,
Oh.
Twitter is going to blow up, and this is like the kind of shows there is. I'm gonna give the example of Manifest. I
Mhm.
don't know if you watch it,
Yep.
but at first it wasn't that big, and then when it explode, you can be sure that Twitter is going to be talking about it. There is going to be like hit tweets with it.
Yep.
Instagram, Tumblr, everything. Everyone will talk about it. Like, you know, those pages on Instagram, like who doesn't give the name of the show, but they like try to explain what happened in the scene. That kind of scene could actually happen. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. It's just there's such a power in fandom that I think people want to avoid giving into, but I'm telling you, if you give them good scenes, they're going to freak out and run with it. I'm not saying we need the entire season to be about Ty and Annie. That's not what I'm saying. Because you've heard us last episode. We love Helen. We love Maddie. There's a bunch of other characters we love. All
yeah,
we're asking is to continue to move the story forward. And I'm like Pauline said, if there is a kiss scene, Twitter, that will be my entire Twitter feed for months because
yep,
I'm still seeing
oh yeah,
Ty and Annie edits. Ty and Annie fan edits. Sorry. I'm seeing them on my timeline still. And it's been, what was it, since February? Like, I'm still seeing them being like,
yep,
like, seeing you soon, besties. Like, can't wait to see you guys again. Like, people are still
yeah.
talking about them online. And so, if they're doing that and there's nothing new coming out, just imagine when they kiss or there's a love confession, people are going to lose their shit, us included. Like we are part of that. So,
Yeah, but we probably be the first one, actually,
oh, we apologize ahead of
because
time
I,
for the
yeah,
people we become when this happens.
I swear to God, as soon as they kiss, I will took my Instagram account. I was like, seriously.
Oh, it's going to be bad, but in a good way. Like it's going to be the actors are going to be
Yeah,
so
huge.
obnoxious about hearing about it, but it's going to be huge. Sorry,
Mhm.
it will blow up. It will absolutely blow up. And I really,
Yeah,
I have faith. I do have faith in the writers. I'm just
me
nervous
too.
because I think it
Yeah.
all goes back to the gut feeling. I think because we were all like FaceTiming or each other, or we were on live right when the
Mhm.
trailer dropped.
Oh
And
god.
that gut feeling when we knew
Mhm.
we were right and we didn't want to be right about the Jackson and Annie stuff, it was like, I just don't want to feel that again. That's where this is coming
No.
from. Like, I don't want to sit through another full season and feel like
Yeah.
I didn't get anything. And that's kind of, well, I guess that's not fair because I love Ty stuff. Don't get me wrong. It's just that feeling having to sit through Jackson and Annie for an entire season. I was like, again, I use this phrase a lot. I was just tired. And it's not a fun
Mm.
feeling. And I just don't want to have that again, selfishly.
Yeah. I get it. I absolutely get it. Being in a fandom, like in a lot of fandom, I'm in the Olivia fandom too, and like seeing another season of them being one day, will they? Like it's tiring. Give the people what they want. You know that the ratings will be huge as
Mm-hmm.
soon. It's not like no, but the chase is better. No, the chase isn't
No,
better. Like
it's good. It's just
we've
as
seen
good.
it. It's just as
I was gonna
good.
say it's just as good. It's we love the chase just as much as we love them being together because there's such a
Yeah.
fun drama to see the happy moments or see them deal with the ups and downs of being
Mhm.
in a relationship. Like season 4 would be great. Like maybe, or even I guess, yeah, season 4 would be great to watch Ty and Annie dealing with him being a senior and applying for colleges and thinking about
Mm.
long distance and dealing with like things like that. Like there's so much you can do with it that's still interesting, but them being together. I just hope it's not a they get together and then they break up thing. Like, no, don't do that. Please don't do
No.
that.
But yeah, I have faith for season
Mhm.
3, but at the same time, I don't want to put my hopes up because I
Yeah.
know I'm gonna be disappointed. So, but I have
Yeah.
faith because from if they follow what they've built in season 2,
Hmm.
I think we could have good stuff, like really, really good stuff in season
I
3,
agree.
but they have to follow it. Like, this is the most important thing they have to do. Follow it. This is all I have to say.
No, I agree. That's like you set it up perfectly. Like season 1 was Annie's point of view. Season 2 was Ty's point of view. Now, yeah, it's literally given to you on a silver platter. Please, like, just continue the story. And I think, like you said, Pauline, I'm going in like I have faith. I have faith in Cheryl. I have faith in the writers, but I'm going in with very low expectations, which I know sounds bad, but it's because I was really burned last season. And I feel like if I go in expecting Jackson and Annie being together until episode 9 or 10, then them breaking up any earlier than that is a pleasant surprise and it's great. Like I know
Mm.
that's a sad
Yeah.
way, but if any of you guys are listening that are in the shipper fandom, I think you know exactly how that feels and you've done the same thing because again, I I've been a shipper for a while and I've had shows where they build up a couple so long and then the show gets
Mm.
canceled and you never see it come to fruition. Like for example,
Yeah.
I had 2 instances where this just happened to me, like in the last couple of years. One was with MacGyver. It was like my guilty pleasure show. They were hinting towards Mac and Riley getting together, and the season that they ended up getting getting canceled after, it was very clear that the next season they would get together and pretty early on, and they never did. And the
Oh
show got
God.
canceled, and it
Oh God.
sucked. It sucked. And then same with like Chicago Fire. I know a lot of people are very passionate, so don't hate me, but I did ship like Brett and Casey and they finally got together and then he leaves the show and you're like, come on.
What?
Like they just got together and then he leaves, which I understand, but it's like that feeling as a shipper sucks. And I haven't watched MacGyver since that happened, which sucks because it was a comfort show, which I'm sure I'll go to it eventually. I have not watched Chicago Fire since. So I guess what I'm saying is like, if you keep
I get
if
it.
if you keep turning people off from a show, they're gonna stop watching the show, is what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say, I guess.
Yeah. Also, like I don't want them just being like getting together at the end of the show and not seeing them actually as a couple. I've
Mm-hmm.
been burned with the show Body of Proof. I loved the couple between Megan and Tommy, and they just kiss at the end of the show, and then they get canceled. And I was like, what? Like,
Oh, you know,
I want to
I
see them as a couple. This is, and no, this is not going to be boring. I'm so tired of showrunners thinking it's going to be boring as soon as the star couple, because every show has that couple that everybody or the majority love.
mm-hmm.
But the showrunner is like, no, we're not going to put them together because as soon as, as they're going to be together, it's going to be boring.
It's
No,
not. It's
this is what we
not.
want.
Here's a perfect example of doing this the right way. So, a comfort show for me is The Mentalist. So, it's a
Yep.
long show, but you know, Jane and Lisbon clearly have this tension and it builds for a long time. The season before the last, they get together, and then the last season, we get to see them like basically together the entire time. And it was like perfect because you had a long buildup, you
Yep.
had all those angsty moments, you had them together, but you still had a
Yep.
full season of seeing them be a couple, and it was perfect.
This is exactly what happened with Suits and Donna and Arvi. Like they get together at the end of season 8, and then even if it was shorter, season 9 was a full season of them being together, working through
Perfect.
problems. The whole season was them like working through their problems. Like, you have to come to me, and if you have a problem, we have to go through, and like we have to do things together. And then it, like, the ending is,
Mm-hmm.
I think it was super cute because in the first episode, Donna is Harvey's secretary in the first episode, and she's
Mm-hmm.
like giving his coffee and everything. It's like marry me. And she's like, we've been married for the last 7 years. And in the last episode, they actually get married. So sorry, there was a spoiler.
Oh, no. Again, these shows have been out for a little while, guys.
Yep.
We've
So, but this is
prefaced
actually
you.
what I want to say is that, like you said, having a whole season of them being together is perfect. This is,
Mm-hmm.
if you think the chase is better and all of these things, okay. But this is the right amount for the whole thing to not become boring or cringe or anything. A
Mm-hmm.
whole season is good. So
It
I
like
get lost a bit, but yeah.
no, but I guess that's what we're saying is we've been down this road. We know the ups and downs of shipperhood, I guess you could say. And we're
Yep.
just saying from experience and from like we have a lot of friends who are shippers as well, like online. Like the community is large. And we promise you, we're not just saying this, we promise you the chase is just as good as them being together. And we promise if there's a kiss this season, the internet will explode. It will
Yep.
be insane. It's all Pauline and I will talk about for months. I am telling
Absolutely.
you that.
I will probably like put it as a profile picture everything
Oh,
everywhere.
and the edits I'm cranking out, it's gonna be
Oh
insane, you
yeah.
guys.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh
and
yeah.
I'm excited because filming starts Monday, so things are happening. So we're going to keep an eye out, but I'm also really nervous that we're going to start getting set pictures of Jackson and Annie, and then it's like, oh no.
Please don't.
I'm not ready for it. Like, I'm just
Yeah.
not ready.
No, me
But
too. But I think it's the moment when the trailer would drop. If
moment of
they
truth.
give away a lot of moment between Annie and Jackson, I know that they will broke up very soon. This
Good
is a sign.
point.
for someone who has been watching TV shows since she was not even like a baby, like a teenager. I started when I was 13. I learned that when they give away things, is that because it's not important. Like if they did it with Ty and Cece in the
That's
season 2
right.
trailer.
That's right.
They gave the two kiss. If they give a lot of things, and they barely gave anything between Annie and Jackson. So if
Right.
we have season 3 trailer with Annie and Jackson a lot, I know that they're going to broke this up very soon.
Oh my God. That's such a good point. Because I remember us being so pissed at first, being like, why do Ty and Cece look so lovey-dovey in this trailer? And now I'm
Yep.
like, oh my God, duh, because they gave you the 2 lovey-dovey scenes that they had in the entire season. And we know the
Yeah.
rest of the story is those two broke up like halfway through the season. And then like you said, Jax and Annie, we got like them standing together at the carnival once, or the the thing that happened, and then we see him coming to her with flowers, and that was it. And it's hinting to what did happen was them forming a romantic relationship. But to your point, they just showed a little glimpse into it, and it was nothing to the full extent of what it was. So I guess let's say that now, that when this trailer drops, and I'm sure we'll talk about it then, if we see like one, like a glance between Ty and Annie, and that's it, we know we got it good. Like we're in for a good treat. But if we're seeing a lot of stuff, we're gonna be like, ah, crap. Like, let's set our expectations low, my friends. Like, it's gonna be intense.
I really hope that no one from the marketing team will see that, because if they decide to change everything, please don't.
We're not talking to you. We're lying. This is all lie. What? No.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess what we're saying is we have faith. We're just a little bruised. Our ego and our not ego, that's not the right word, but we're a little broken and bruised from season 2 still. It was a lot to sit through. But like you said, they have the perfect opportunity. They set it up perfectly. They just have to execute. That's all. Please give us a kiss. Please give us a love confession. Please, please, please. Please.
Please.
But yeah, I think that's
we're asking
all
nicely.
Yeah, please. Remember, all of this comes from a love of the show and the characters and the couple. You can tell we are very passionate about these things.
Yeah.
And it's because we care. And that's we've just been down this fandom road and this shipper road a long time. So we're just pointing out the signs and trying to just get ahead of it. But in the end, like Pauline said, we're hopeful, we're faithful. We're nervous. That's the third adjective. We're just nervous. But I think that's it. I know that was a long one, but you guys know it was going to be. We love Tyannie very, very much. And yeah, we're excited and nervous to see what's in store in season 3.
Yeah.
I guess this is more speculative, but since you know a lot about these TV shows, more than me, do you have any guesses as to when season 3 would come out?
Okay, so they started shoot, like the schedules is kind of the same of season 1. Like they practically started at the same time. So if they start on Monday, they'd probably finish at mid-October, and then probably between April and May. I think I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they do exactly like for parallel season 1 and season 3, like them premiering season 3 May 19th, like season 1. That could be I'm not like sure at all, but I believe that could be between the end of April and the beginning of May. I think it's safe to say that.
Yeah, when you think about it, that's only a month and like a year and 2 to 3 months, which I think we've kind of joked about this, where the gap between season 1 and 2 felt
Yeah.
so long that everything seems now to be happening so fast. So I know that seems like a long time, but if you think about it, what is it, like 9
Yeah.
months
We
like
waited
away?
2.5 years for season 2. So I think we can do it. Season 3 is like it's
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Just think, if you need something to tide you over, we're going to post most weeks, and there's a
Mhm.
new something about Sweet Magnolias we're talking about. And soon I'm sure we'll have episodes on set pictures that come out. We'll have
Mhm.
episodes on or an episode on the trailer, which then I'm sure will spark another episode about new theories or like an updated bingo card. So there's going to be a lot of things to talk about, which I'm
Yeah.
hoping will help ease the gap. But be patient, my friends. I'm trying to be too. I'm just trying to remember that it's only 9 months. Or I guess a little, like a year, a little over a year between seasons versus, 1 and 2, which felt like an eternity. So,
Yeah.
all right. But I think that's all we got. So, again, thank you so much. And reminder, Pauline and I are, very new to the podcast. See,
Yeah.
I can't even say the word right. Podcast space. So
Yeah.
if you have any feedback for us, please let us know. In the
Mhm.
comments, let us know what's your favorite Tyannie moment. What do you want to see in season 3?
Mhm.
Um, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Sorry, I
we
moved
really,
a lot during this episode because I, I was trying to find like a right position to sit in.
it's again, we're still figuring it out. So patience
Yeah.
with us, my friends. But you can
We
tell
don't
this
have
is
a
a
setup,
topic,
a real setup.
and we're on different sides of the planet. So
That's true.
just I was like, we're doing with the best that we can. So we really appreciate any feedback you guys have to make this show better.
Mhm.
But yeah, so that was our spiel on Tyannie. I'm sure we'll probably have another one because I'm sure
Yeah.
things will develop and we'll talk about it
Oh
again.
yeah.
But
Oh
as
yeah.
of right now, this is where we are with Tyannie.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you
Well,
so
thank you,
much.
friends. Bye.
Bye.